250 cars and 50 teams started out this season. Now there's just these 10 left who have battled their way to the top, and now we're going to find out who is the #1 team in the Junkyard Joust. Picard, Geordi, Klingons, you name it, they're all here to check out the finals. The chicken rings and onion wings are being fried up. Mr. Bean, Troy, one of Santa's helpers, even Raphael is showing up with his brand new ride. It's time for the Junkyard Joust World Championship. The winning team will take home the trophy. Hi everybody, I'm Aaron Yonda and welcome to the Junkyard Joust Finals. Let's take a look at our teams. Some of these teams have been here before, some of them have not. Let's take a look at the teams. The Copperheads have won the championship twice and are the reigning champs. Can they keep the streak alive for a record 3 times? Emerald Undercurrent has one championship under their belt. Pretty sure they wouldn't mind another one. Glorious Throttle, a big underdog here, ranked 22nd. Could they take it? Weirder things have happened. Graveyard Smash have a championship under their belt, and Creature is in fine form this season. Can they be defeated? Jurassic Ride surprised everyone with their agility, and of course, the illustrious Jeff Goldblum.
And that is science.
Mr. Maroon have turned in a pretty solid performance this season, especially with that Chevy truck. Ramp Stamp have taken the place of Jetstreak, it seems, in the finals. Or will they suffer the curse of Jetstreak and get close but never be able to win? Santa's Slayer's the only team with a bonus action in the finals. Could that help them take it to the top? The Shredheads, another underdog, but they've shown some serious agility and could help them. And another solid team, Truculent. They've done surprisingly well this season. At any time, Santa Slayers can whip out one of these bonus actions to help them in the match, or hurt if they're not careful. These 5 vehicles have not been eliminated this season. They've got perfect records. And what's that sound? Well, what do you know? It's the Starship Enterprise. Looks like we might have a special guest for the finals. It's William T. Riker. Amazing. Riker himself has come to witness this special event. The Track Buffer Evil Weevil is ready to go, sponsored by Track Buffer LLC. And look at this reunion between Picard and Riker and the rest of the crew. So happy to see each other. It's been a while. And now let's joust. Glorious Throttle will start us off. The Ford GT Mark II will take its place down at the end of the track, sponsored by Chome. Running orders up. Coming down next, the 75 Sierra Grand for Truculent, sponsored by Jason's Bits Boys. When a vehicle is sideways or upside down at the end of a round, it's out. The running order of the teams is random, but the teams get to decide which car to send at which point. Next up, Tail Dragger for the Undercurrent, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Tail Dragger pounds the Sierra Grand off the track and over sideways it goes. That truck has been tough to eliminate in this season, but it's the finals now. It's a whole nother world. Tail Dragger in a tough position right there too. The Stutz Blackhawk for Mr. Maroon, sponsored by Ellie's Hop Shop. The Stutz zooms past Tail Dragger. It gets off the track and escapes. The Mark II does a great job of staying alive. Forward Speed will start off for Ramp Stamp, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Forward Speed locks it into position. We got 3 cars lined up. Next hit will be Off Track for Santa's Slayer, sponsored by Beaks Busted Barn Finds. Off Track slams Forward Speed right off the track. A very aggressive move by that vehicle, not always the most offensive. That was a nice elimination. 97 gram Big Mother for Graveyard Smash, sponsored by Mark the Music Lover. Big Mother hurls off-track bodily from the track. It flips over, makes a fantastic recovery. Actually didn't quite flip, but it makes a nice recovery for the Slayers. The 38 Dodge Airflow for Jurassic Ride, sponsored by Sicken. Airflow slots into place, locks it in after a little tussling. 4 cars lined up. The Tucker Torpedo for the Copperhead, sponsored by Judy Collins. The Torpedo slams into the line. That line is growing ever longer. Rally Speciale for the Shredheads, sponsored by DYW Production Labs. Rally Speciale locks it in. Man, this line is getting long. We could end up going back up the track. 16.4 GT Race, sponsored by Farty Marty. We are back around the roster. GT Race tries to push Rally up on top of Tucker. Rally is hanging out for the moment. Service bed truck up now, sponsored by Price X Private Parts. Service bed squeezes Rally off the track. It flies all the way down, bouncing off all the cars and going upside down, and that is going to be an early elimination for the Shredheads. Emerald Undercurrent sending down Lamelt, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Lamelt tries to get under the service bed, but it handles the invasion nicely, sliding back in, and Lamelt backs off. Chevy Corvette for Mr. Maroon, sponsored by Judy Collins. Big hit by the Corvette, and it just about gets Lamelt off the track. Nowhere for Lamelt to go, and the Corvette does not take the ramp on the back of Lamelt. Bit of a jumble now. Cool One, sponsored by Hendrika's Heavy Hauling. Cool One slams into the two cars, and he knew something was going to happen there, and the Corvette is the one to go over. Not completely off the track yet, but a nice hit. Lamelt at a dangerous angle. See what happens. F1 Racer for Santa Slayer, sponsored by Sloss Automotive Sachet and Buffet. F1 Racer, wow, that was a crazy hit. Cool One goes flying. The F1 Racer goes right over and out. Self-elimination right there, and Cool One also eliminated for Ramp Stamp. Nice takedown, unfortunately took itself out. Wolfman for Graveyard, sponsored by Chicken Rings Onion Wings. Wolfman hits a wall and manages to get a little penetration. The GT goes up, service bed starting to get under it. Wolfman, though, unstable now, tipping over. HW Tour Bus, sponsored by Underdogs Unleashed. The tour bus slams Wolfman into position. Wow, I saw something fly out there. GT gets off the track safely, and it looks like Lamelt is settling down. Pontiac Grand Prix, the newbie for Copperhead, sponsored by Sicken. Grand Prix slams into place. Now service bed starting to go up on the back of Tucker. Tucker causing some trouble here. Roland Solo, sponsored by Jedi. Roland Solo gets underneath the Pontiac Grand Prix, starts to push it off the track. The line is starting to loosen up a little bit as we get backed up. Ford GT-LM, sponsored by Milo's Motor Menagerie. The GT-LM forces Roland Solo underneath several vehicles. The Grand Prix slides off, actually stays alive. The tour bus is toppling, but for the moment, it's still going. No eliminations, but there's a lot going on. 71 Ford F-250, sponsored by Chone. A big slam by the F-250, and that looks to me like it might just have taken out 3 vehicles. That's what we like to call a
Triple takedown.
What a great hit by the F-250 for Truculent. Roland Solo looks like it's going to recover, but then it doesn't. The GT is sideways, and that bus is tipping over. It could come back. We'll see if it sticks. 71 De Tomaso Mangusta, sponsored by Chone. Mangusta actually starts to help that GT recover, and man, there was some damage on that hit. Maybe the back of the Ford service bed starting to escape the track successfully. 90 Chevy 454 SS, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. This truck has been deadly, and it proves that it is again tossing the Mangusta off the track upside down. And the GT also fully eliminated now. Does not look like it's coming back from that. Flashfire, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Flashfire shoots underneath the Chevy, does not manage to get a takedown. That thing just refuses to die. Starts to get underneath the F-250. Next up, 16 Angels, sponsored by Farty Marty. 16 Angels pounds into position. The Chevy starts to force Flashfire under a little bit more. Wolfman's holding things up, though. This ought to loosen things up a little bit. The 57 Bel Air, 118 grams, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. Bam, there goes 16 Angels. Wow, it got some height on that one. Reaches a height of 9. Man, that is a nice hit. 16 Angels, of course, recovers, backs down by its teammate by the crates. Man, that was a great hit. F-250 now up a little bit. Flashfire getting underneath Wolfman. Plesiosaur Transporter, 100 grams, sponsored by Reaper EOD. And another big hit, and it takes a toll. Wolfman finally toppled. Flashfire going underneath the Tucker Torpedo, and it looks like the F-250 might be finished off here too. Next up for Copperheads, Purple Passion Woody, sponsored by Sloss Automotive. Solid slam from the Woody. The transporter holds solid though, and now the Woody is curbside. Meanwhile, Flashfire is starting to get more underneath Tucker. Turbine Sublime for the Shredhead, sponsored by Chorgoth the Infinite Horror. The Woody gets popped off the track and it backs into Picard and Riker. Riker getting a great introduction to the Junkyard Joust. A little close to the track over there. Of course, they probably didn't expect the action to be way back here. Another GT coming down, sponsored by Jedi. The GT slots in. Wow, we're getting way back down the track now. Custom 62 Chevy, sponsored by Pick Your Sticker. The Chevy also slots in. A little bit of movement, but yeah, we're just about at the incline now. The Lola GT70, sponsored by Farty Marty. GT70 barely gets any movement there. Some jostling, but yeah, we're at the incline. Nissan 300 ZXTT, sponsored by Chicken Rings. The Nissan tries to take the Lola out, gets underneath, but the Lola's not going anywhere, at least not yet, and the Chevy holds steady. Bubble Gunner gonna mix things up, sponsored by Emo Dingo. Bubble Gunner shoots under 3 cars and gets a double elimination. The only vehicle surviving, the custom Chevy, which does a great job of flipping back over to a recovery. Nissan and the Lola both are done. Dangerous place to be this far back on the track. Phaeton now, sponsored by Milo's Motor Menagerie. Phaeton, wow, look at that. We got a stack of cars now all piled up on each other. This will not end well. The precariousness of this situation cannot be overemphasized. And it looks like Creatures decided to take the plunge, waited for a little while here, sponsored by Chicken Rings. Creature does the job and gets a double elimination and sets up the ramp. Wow, what a hit. Almost a triple takedown, but Turbine Sublime manages a recovery. Bubble Gunner and the GT are finished. Here comes the Jeep Wrangler, sponsored by Chicken Rings.
Hey, Baby Petey, is it? Were you approved by the Regulatory Commission to be my new driver? Uh-oh.
And the Jeep Wrangler breaks the ice, having the first leap off the back of Creature from the Black Lagoon. Petey goes flying out of the Jeep, did not buckle up. Jeff somehow manages to stay in, and that's gonna be a recovery.
Oh, you know what they say about chaos? Chaos is Baby Petey driving your Jeep down a giant ramp.
The Chevy 1500, sponsored by Emo Dingo. The Chevy takes the ramp, and it loves this, actually. The Chevy lands it perfectly right next to the service bed. Some vehicles excel off the back of ramps, and the Chevy is one of them. Group C Fantasy, sponsored by Emo Dingo. This car's another one that loves the ramp, and look at that leap all the way down, hits the tires, makes a fantastic recovery. Shredhead saving that car for this specific reason. Ford GT40 gonna take the plunge, sponsored by Sicken. GT40 takes that plunge. Ooh, it does not go well though. A nice gliding arc, hits the crates, takes a bad bounce, and that is gonna be Creature's first elimination, at least with the ramp. A lot of distance on that one. The 02 Chevy Silverado, never been eliminated, sponsored by Jesus. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned the fact that it's never been eliminated because this does not look promising. It does collide with the F-250 and make sure that it survives, but did it just sacrifice itself to make that happen? Migrig for Emerald. Migrig takes the jump and makes a fantastic recovery. Migrig also likes that ramp, and it does a great job of recovering. Never been eliminated either. And Barb taking a little nap underneath that rod. 68 Cougar, sponsored by Chorgoth. Cougar takes the leap, and it does not go well, flipping over, landing on the Chevy, and does not make a recovery. A little bit too top heavy, but what just happened? Cool One is sent off into a recovery on that hit. Let's take a closer look at what just happened there. The Cougar bounces off the Chevy, pushes the Chevy into Cool One, and Cool One recovers. It was a perfect combination of hits that caused that to happen, and look at that, Barb not even touched. Odd Rod now for the stamps, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. Odd Rod takes the lead, Cookie goes flying, and it doesn't look promising for a recovery there. Odd Rod flipping over upside down on top of the never eliminated truck, and Cookie is hiding trackside over by Big Mother. Technetium, sponsored by Sean's Toy Room. Technetium takes the ramp. That car has also never been eliminated, and you can see why. Look at the crazy amount of bouncing it does. After all that, it ends up right side up in an interesting position. And guess what? We got another one of the ramp stamps recovering off of one of these bounces randomly. Odd ones back up. 63 Cadillac Hearse, sponsored by Sid from Cybertron. The hearse takes its teammate's ramp. It's shown an amazing ability to recover from this type of thing. And, ooh, that looks close. I'm not sure that's gonna be a recovery. Definitely looks like it's too far over. Oh, nope, look at that. It recovered. Just flipped right back down. Was balanced perfectly. That was amazing. 93 Ford Explorer, sponsored by Chicken Rings for Jurassic. The Ford Explorer also makes a recovery, lands way down by the hearse, actually smashes into the hearse, almost would have flipped it back over again, and then somehow, inexplicably, it makes a recovery up on top of a bunch of tires. Wow, we've seen some crazy ramping here. Semi-Psycho, sponsored by Sicken. Semi-Psycho takes the ramp, also has good luck. So far, the ramp not really proving that deadly. Look at the bouncing. Bing bong boing, and recovery. Great job by Semi-Psycho. Up now, Spinebuster, sponsored by Farty Marty. Spinebuster takes the ramp and also has good luck. Flipping around, flipping over. Doesn't cause any miracle recoveries except its own. Nice landing right down by Migrig. That's the end of round one, and what a round it was. Out of 50 cars, only 14 eliminated, although we might add a couple more to that list. We're gonna take a couple measurements here. Look at the carnage. Finals are always a little bit crazy, and this proves no exception. Measurement on Tour Bus for Jurassic, and it's no good. That vehicle is out. Measurement on Wolfman. Wolfman also out. No teams lost more than 3. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Mr. Maroon and Glorious Throttle hit the hardest in this round, losing 3 apiece. Truculent and Emerald each lost 2. Our reigning champs, Copperheads, did not lose a car. Ramp Stamp only lost 2 after a couple miracle recoveries. The Slayers, Graveyard, Jurassic, and the Shredheads all lost 1 each. Creature ended the first perfect record with the Chevy Silverado getting eliminated. And it looks like Picard has taken Riker into the shuttle for a little fix-em-up. It's a dangerous place to hang out, but that's not stopping these Klingons from hanging out there. They must like that car. Round 2, here we go. The Copperheads had an amazing round 1. Tucker Torpedo will start us off. The randomized running order is up, and we are in full swing. Oh, a crushing blow from Big Mother, and look at that. Tucker Torpedo flipped over sideways on the track still, but man, that was a devastating blow, and Graveyard Smash is laying down the smash. The Dodge Airflow tries to clean things up a little bit. Tucker Torpedo's still sideways. I don't think it's coming back. Roland Solo slots into place, manages to stay on the track despite the rounded back of the Dodge Airflow. Phaeton dives in and mixes things up and whoops, eliminated itself as well as Roland Solo, so a nice takedown, but then couldn't make the recovery. 5 teams only lost 1 in round 1, and now 3 of those have lost another. Flashfire tries to get underneath the Dodge Airflow and can't do it. That car is low, but it's not enough. Tucker had a chance at recovery and blew it. Tail Dragger provides the hammer for the nail that is Flashfire, and the Dodge Airflow is in trouble right now. Big hit there for Emerald. The service bed truck pile drives into the line, and there are cars flying all over the place, going off the track. Airflow's in trouble. Flashfire up to the front, Big Mother slides off, and Tail Dragger's halfway off. The GT Mark II slams into position. Mixes things up a little bit, but nothing real big happening yet. A pounding hit from the Chevy for Mr. Maroon, but it doesn't manage to do much. Tail Dragger escapes the track. Flashfire's going curbside. The big boxy Pontiac slots into position behind the Chevy 454. The 57 Bel Air, despite 118 grams of weight, cannot really do much with that line. Service bed starts to escape the track, and Flashfire survives. Another big hit, this time from the transporter, and it looks like it didn't do any damage. Cars keep sliding down the line. Dodge Airflow looks like it's probably upright. Turbine Sublime, not enough weight, bounces off the transporter, and the Grand Prix tries to escape. Off-track gets caught up on Turbine Sublime and turns over sideways, slides in, still on the track, could definitely make a recovery. Odd Rod flies into the scene and Cookie flies out of the scene. Off-track makes a nice escape from the track, right side up. Turbine Sublime can't quite manage the same thing, and Odd Rod is curbside. Lamelt pushes Odd Rod off the track. Turbine just about completes that escape. We got a little bit of a ramp going now. Ford F-250 goes flying off the back of Lamelt and flips over, makes a wonderful recovery over by the still sideways Phaeton. Wow, that is amazing agility. Truculent got to be happy with that. The Ford GT Race declines the Lamelt jump and pushes Lamelt underneath the transporter. Transporter could be in trouble now. The Blackhawk pounds into position, and there goes the Grand Prix for Copperheads. They're gonna lose another one, that car going sideways. Lamelt pushing ever further. The Woody tries to knock the transporter off. It is holding on. The Plesiosauria legs stopping the vehicle from tipping over. And Graveyard Smash has decided that it's time to set up the ramp. Nice tight line, good time for it. The Ford Explorer for Jurassic Ride careens off the back of Creature, and look at that wild recovery. Hits a 6 on the way over before it bashes into the Pontiac and then gets back on the track again. And it looks like it's close to 45, but that's probably a recovery. Wow, what a wild run that was. Ooh, bad luck for Spinebuster. Usually does well with the ramp. This time takes a bad bounce. Everybody beaten up on that Pontiac Grand Prix, and Spinebuster is out. Nothing 16 Angels loves more than a ramp, proving it again by flying all the way down to the crates and just bouncing to a perfect recovery. It's a happy holiday for 16 Angels. And if you look closely at Creature's ramp right now, there's a part of the track where it's a little bit higher up in the air. Cool One takes a shot at it, but can't get underneath. Ramp Stamp gotta be wondering if they had sent down Flashfire there, could they have gotten under Creature, took it out? You don't want to miss an opportunity to take Creature out of this match. Cool One makes a recovery. Mig-Rig lunges all the way down on top of the Chevy, and Barb goes way over into the crates. That was a massive jump, and bad news for Emerald. Mig-Rig is upside down, does not even get close to a recovery, and another never eliminated vehicle falls from the list. Whoa, the custom Chevy doesn't quite take the ramp. Kind of hooked on the back of Creature right there. Had a chance to take it out, I think. Maybe not quite heavy enough. And now it's perched on top. Semi-Psycho boots the custom Chevy off of Creature, and it makes a nice lunging recovery. And now Semi-Psycho's gonna take a hit. Cadillac Hearse for Graveyard takes out Semi-Psycho, just tosses it over and it goes sideways. Meanwhile, the Cadillac makes a recovery. Unbelievable agility for that hearse. And now the Copperheads have lost yet another one.
Baby Petey, are you licensed? No? Okay.
The Jeep Wrangler with Petey and Jeff Goldblum goes flying all over the place, bounces off the grass, comes back down again, hits its own teammate, the Ford Explorer, and then just kind of drives back down. These Jurassic Ride landings have been fun to watch. Group C Fantasy, another fantastic landing, no problems there, bounces off the Plesiosaura transporter and lands it. Nice. Technetium launches off Creature, bounces around a little bit, and then makes a fantastic recovery. Wow, look at that skidding landing, flipping all over the place, and then landing on top of the tires. Still never eliminated. Chevy 1500 takes the run and does the same thing, bouncing all over the place and making that landing. Copperhead's got to be breathing a sigh of relief. They are losing vehicles left and right. Still got the Chevy though. That was the last car of round 2. We had 7 for sure eliminations. We're going to take a couple measurements. What a wild round. It looks like the transporter is below 45 degrees. It will remain in. A lot of damage on the back bumper. Ford Explorer just beyond 45 degrees, and it is going to be out. That'll take us to 8 eliminations. Let's take a look at the aftermath. Emerald falls from 3 to 2. The big story here, though, Copperheads lose 3. They are now down to 2. Santa Slayers lost 1 down to 3. Jurassic Ride lost 1 down to 3. Shredheads lost 2. They took a big hit. Right now, Graveyard are looking unstoppable. 4 cars remaining. Another perfect record falls with the elimination of Mig-Rig. Emerald's got to be quaking in their boots. Santa Slayers have not used their bonus action yet. They'll have an opportunity to use it next time when we wrap up the finals of Junkyard Joust Season 7. My patrons are the way I continue making Junkyard Joust. Consider supporting the show and check out the rewards at patreon.com/junkyardjoust. Don't forget to join the Junkyard Joust Discord, link in the description. A lot of people run their own home jousts and they're a lot of fun to watch. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time on The Joust.